So Ira, we've talked a lot about how to create the savings habit and really what's the key to success in that. It doesn't just stop there, does it?
It starts with changing the habit. The amount that you deposit into savings, though, if it stays at the original amount,
$10 a month.
$10 a month, is probably not going to be enough to fund your future goals. So we can't emphasize enough how important it is to change this habit. And not only that, how difficult that is.
And increase that contribution more and more over time.
And increasing it over time is the next challenge. Preferably, it can be automated by, for instance, if you have a 401k plan at work, there's an option usually to, every time you get a pay increase, to contribute more to your 401k.
I've seen that, and also at the turn of a new year, a new calendar year, they will automatically increase your contribution up to as high as the match eventually.
So any tools that we can utilize that would do that automatically for us, so we don't notice the disappearing amount, and we focus on the amount that's in our checking account, not that's on our pay stub and deposited that we receive in a paycheck, that will help us be progressively able to deposit more in our savings account. But we know that achieving these goals takes time. It's like if you want to lose weight and you decide on January 1st to start a diet. You might think you know how many calories you eat each day, but based on our experience of having our clients estimate how much they spend each day, you are probably equally ignorant of the number of calories you're eating a day.
Overestimating.
Probably
Underestimating. That's
underestimating the calories you're eating because you don't want to take responsibility for eating too much.
Or you just forget.
Or you forget, but either way, you're not going to get it right. Just like you're not going to be able to estimate accurately how much you spend. And if you try to cut your calories by 50% in the first month, like we mentioned, you'll probably lose a good bit of weight, but you're not changing the eating habits. You're not changing your lifestyle. So when the diet ends, then you revert back to whatever habit you had before. And with savings, unless you stick to the plan, and most importantly, increase the amount that you save periodically, that's the only way you're going to achieve your long-term savings goals.
And this money for savings needs to be earning at a minimum a bit of interest all the way up to
Preferably.
Pretty good investing options as well. You want that money to grow on your behalf as well. That's the maximum value you're going to get from your diligent efforts of behavior change and savings.
Well, we've emphasized the emergency account. And the money in the emergency account is for emergencies. And you really don't want to take very much risk with that money.
So you don't want to buy a technology stock with it all, for instance.
No. You want to stay away from the stock market and stay in an account where the value is not going to go down. And I think research shows that the pain of losing money is twice as great as the satisfaction of making money anyway, especially with an emergency fund. So if you're focused on your emergency fund, you want to find a safe savings account that's federally insured and easily accessible in case you need it. And you want to make sure that funding your emergency account happens automatically. Every bank in the world will gladly reach into your checking account each month and grab whatever dollars you designate and put it into a savings account. Also, you can, where you have an automatic deposit system at work, most employers will allow you to deposit a lump sum of money in one account and take another amount and deposit it in a savings account. And that might be even safer than having the bank reach into your account and grab the money because it's disappearing before it ever gets to your account.
Because if the money is never in your spending account to begin with, you're less likely to spend it.
A good example of how the mind works in regard to anchoring on dollar amounts is if you have a credit card balance and the credit card company on your statement says that your minimum payment each month is $15, you anchor on that $15, even though your balance might be $2,000, and you say, oh, I can afford the minimum payment of $15.
Who wouldn't? $15 a month?
What you don't notice, because you're ignoring it, is the fact that you're going to be paying them $15 a month for the rest of your life.
Or at least more than double the value of the original price of the goods.
Right. It's going to cost you a lot more. You have to be careful about the dollar amount that you anchor on. And if you anchor on a dollar amount after your savings are set aside, then you'll adjust your spending. You're more likely to adjust your spending to that lower amount and not spend your savings.
It's interesting because the savings habit is the exact same premise behind what credit card companies do when you sign up for a credit card. When you sign up for a credit card and you make that first $15 minimum monthly payment, the idea is to attach a checking account to it and an automatic bill pay. So the credit card companies know this. If they can attach an account and automatically take your money out before you're ever having a chance to spend it, they know their bill will get paid. In addition, the money that you owe them has interest, so it's growing over time. So you'll actually continuously be paying them more. In the savings habit, it's the exact same premise, except you're using what the credit card company does against you and instead using it for you. So you're essentially creating a savings account with this automatic monthly contribution into, or minimum monthly payment to yourself, into an account that hopefully earns interest, so that over time, you can use those funds for your longer term goals rather than owing them.
You're taking the rules of thumb of your mind that are used by companies to influence you
For
in their
profit.
interests and transforming that into a rule to help you and achieve your savings goals. That's the idea.
How to make it a habit. Number 1, open the account. Number 2, research for the highest insured interest rate. You can revisit this interest earned component later anytime. However, just do the best you can at the beginning. Number 3, set up an automatic payment from your checking account to your savings account every month each time your first paycheck hits. And 4, start at 10% of your income each month for this payment. 5, can't afford 10%? Then start with just $100. 6, can't afford $100? Then start with 10. And 7, can't afford 10? Then start with just $1. The hardest part truly is opening the account. And the second hardest part is setting up a monthly contribution amount. The savings part is surprisingly easy. And once you see that you can live without the $1, $10, or $100 or 10% of your income each month, by taking it out of your checking account before you have the chance to spend it, your spending will more easily adjust. In fact, you won't even notice it missing.
Psychologically, it's difficult for most humans, even those who can defer gratification or postpone spending over many months and years, to break down a very big savings goal into action steps today. It's very hard for us to think about a big lump sum to save for retirement or a big goal in terms of how we can make a dent in it today. It's even more difficult if we have debt and find it difficult to save money without spending it for a long period of time. It's difficult to see how we will succeed. Starting with a manageable sum seems small, but it's not so small because it means that you are at least learning the habit and implementing the habit now.
That's exactly right, Ira. In closing, we will offer you advice from happiness expert Gretchen Rubin from her blog, www.gretchenrubin.com. In her blog entry titled, Trick Question, Can One Coin Make a Person Rich? Gretchen cites a footnote from a piece by Erasmus's The Praise of Folly, which explains the argument of the growing heap. If 10 coins aren't enough to make a man rich, what if you add just 1 coin? What if you add another? Finally, you will have to say that no one can be rich unless 1 coin can make him so.
In conclusion, contributing more and more over time, no matter how slowly, even starting as small as possible to make your savings failure-proof, is the only way to grow your heap for retirement. And continue to keep growing your heap, keep increasing your monthly contribution as often as possible. You have now caught the savings habit.